back.
And I won Formula 3 here.
Exactly.
One of the first times I came to Europe was to Zandvoort, and to win over here was a big deal in Formula 3. Of course, in Formula 1, yes, but and particularly the last one, I knew I was going to retire at the end of the season, so to win again here was a big deal.
Yeah. And it must be different times back then, right? It's totally different here now at Zandvoort.
Well, you could say that in a big way.
Yeah.
I've never seen a racetrack like this with so many banked corners. That's going to be something that will be interesting to hear at the end of the end of Friday, because the cars will have more G-forces involved in them than they've ever had before because of the high banking. So it'll be very interesting to see who adjusts best to it. Obviously, Verstappen's going to be the man at home, and therefore there's going to be tremendous achievement. If it were to win it, it would be fantastic.
Exactly. What do you think between the fight between Lewis and Max?
It's good. It's healthy. We like competition, and I think now there's more level playing field. Before, the Mercedes were so overly powered, if you like, not just power, they did a great job. But it's interesting to notice this great German company, the cars made in England and the engines made in England. But really, they've done a great job. But they've lasted longer in Formula One than in past years. When Fangio drove and Stirling Moss drove, relatively small period, even in the 20s and 30s, it was a small period. So now they've been much longer in Formula One. And Red Bull have had to be second for too long. And now they're up there. So I think it's more competitive than it's been before, and that's healthy. And you've got a Dutch driver who's as good as any driver in the world.
And can he beat Lewis Hamilton this year, you think?
I think it is possible. It'll be a tough fight, but we need a new world champion. We need a fresh world champion. Lewis has dominated, some people would say, for rather too long.
Now they're suggesting that next year George Russell will be the teammate of Lewis Hamilton. Recently I saw a documentary where you were in as well with Ronnie Patterson, and he decided to be second driver behind Mario Andretti. Do you think George Russell will be accepting the second role?
I think he's a very talented young driver, has been driving in a car that has not been sufficiently competitive for him to show his real skills, but it was only when he got into the Mercedes, when Lewis was unable to drive, that suddenly, bang, he was leading the race. His performance at Spa in the heavy rain was again an example that he's a top-line driver. So I expect big things from him.
Okay, and this weekend, what are your expectations probably for this weekend?
Well, I think there's very few people that wouldn't like the idea of somebody else winning in Holland. I mean, they want to see Lewis, of course, being competitive, but they also want Verstappen to win.
Okay, last question. What would you like to see to the Orange Army, the Dutch fans here on the stands this weekend?
It's a terrific performance by the fans. They're more passionate, I think, than any other nationality in the world. I mean, the Brazilians are very passionate. When Fittipaldi was racing against me, I mean, they were big, and they've always been good. In Brazil, they're very passionate. Argentina, very passionate. Mexico, very passionate. But I think here, this will be the capital.